sa kabila ng kanilang hirap na pinagdaanan, mayroong pag-asang nakaakyat. Bawat isa ay nagnanais na matupad ang kanilang pangarap sa buhay.
Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name, your age, your profession, and where you graduated.
My name is Lynette C. Febrero. I graduated AB Journalism at the University of Santo Tomas, batch 2013. I'm currently teaching DevCom and Social Science subjects here at the Bulacan Agricultural State College as Instructor 1.
So, can you tell us po, how was your life before?
Right after graduation, I used to work in a BPO company as customer service representative. I'm handling Xbox. If you're familiar with that brand from Microsoft, under kasi ng Microsoft yun. So, kalaban siya ng PlayStation. And as customer service representative, I handled voice chats, calls, I asked for their billings, etc. So, basically, it's a corpo job. And then eventually, I decided to take my master's, and I also wanted to work in the industry. So, nagtrabaho muna ako as editorial assistant for a cultural magazine. It's called Life Today Magazine, under Corporación de Padres Dominicos in San Juan. Under din siya ng Aquinas School. So, it's a cultural magazine aiming to talk about Catholic teachings, pero hindi lang naman siya religious magazine. Meron din mga values, it talks about movies, mga ganun. So, in general, cultural magazine siya. Tapos, aside from being an editorial assistant, nagsusulat din ako for that magazine. And then, my passion is really to teach. That's the time na in 2018, I decided to become one of the lecturers for a review center pa lang noon. This review center is owned by a Chinese family, privately owned siya. Tapos ang gagawin nila, for every summer, magre-review kami ng mga estudyante na they wanted to be part of the top universities in Manila. So, magre-review kami for Ateneo, UP, LaSalle, and UST. And as a lecturer, I handled English, Filipino, and reading subjects, yung mga parts sa exam. Yun. So, dun talaga nag-spark yung gusto ko talagang magturo. And then, sabi ko, iba pa rin kasi kapag nasa totoong school ka. And then, luckily, I became part of the UST Senior High School as also as a part-time instructor din. Pero eventually, I handled grade 12 students. I handled media information literacy subject. Nung time na yon, meron pa talagang media information literacy. Pero sa kasamaang palad, ngayon, tinanggal na naman ulit yung MIL sa curriculum ng DepEd at ng CHED. So, wala na rin siya. Pero bago pa naman din ako lumipat dito sa Basi, naisip ko naman din na I really wanted to teach in a state university. Hence, I went home.
So, follow-up question po. How was your experience po being a Tomasian? Kasi di ba pag narinig nila yung university, parang sobrang hype up kasi part siya ng top 4 universities sa Manila. So, how was your experience po?
Well, as a Tomasino naman, naniniwala talaga ako na sa UST, halo talaga doon. Mix yung mga tao doon, diba? Unlike yung may mga stereotypes talaga na if you're from LaSalle, Ateneo, nandiyan yung mga rich kid, ganyan, sa UP, parang mas madami na rin talaga yung kotse kaysa sa mga sumasakay ng jeep ikot, diba? Sa UST, mas halo siya eh. Halo dun yung mga jeje at yung mga sosyal. And I'm one of those na mix ng nakaranas ng ganong klaseng kultura. But as a Tomasian, siguro isa sa mga may pagmamalaki namin ay kami yung kadalasang hinahire sa mga job offers kasi hindi kami sumusuko kasi agad. Kumbaga na-train kami na pagka meron kaming kailangang gawing trabaho, we need to do our best. every time. So, we practice the 3 C's: compassion, competence, and commitment.
What is one of the biggest obstacles or challenges you have experienced? Something that almost made you give up without others knowing?
Okay. I'll share you 2 challenges, 2 experiences. The first one was when I was in 3rd year college. Pa-3rd year na. 2nd year going 3rd year. Kasi nung time na yon, meron kaming subject na finance. So, math siya. At kasabay nung finance namin yung mga major subjects namin sa journalism. Bagsak ako dun sa finance. Kasabay din nun na yung lola ko passed away. And then, parang nung time na yun, parang halo-halo na siya. Sabay-sabay na siya. And nung time din na yun, syempre, in order for you to stay in the university, kailangan, meron ka din pang tuition, diba? And ako scholar naman ako. Kaya ako nasa UST kasi naging scholar ako. Pero, para ma-sustain din yung scholarship ko, naging student assistant din ako. So, ang main reason ko din kasi doon, parang sobrang busy ka din doon sa pagtrabaho mo. Siyempre, kasabay nun na may subject ka na hindi mo rin magets kasi math yun in the first place. At akala ko talaga kapag kumuha ko ng journalism, walang math. Pero mali pala yun. May math pala talaga sa kahit saang aspeto ng buhay. So, parang yun, nagsama-sama siya. Parang magulo siya at that specific moment. Pero, nung time na yun, parang sabi ko, kahit na bumagsak ako dun sa subject na yun, nung summer, tinake ko siya ulit. At tiningnan ko yung lola ko as my inspiration. Na parang, tatapusin ko tong pag-aaral ko na to. Kasi dahil ito yung gusto ni Lola. Ito yung gusto naman talaga ng pamilya ko para sa akin. So, hindi pwedeng gawin kong dahilan na, wala na si Lola. Parang wala na akong reason to continue my study. Na parang, dahil hindi na ako nakapasa, titigil na natin to. Diba? So, parang after nun, nag-try ako na aralin talaga yung subject na yun. Tapos parang dun ko din napatunayan na kaya ko naman pala. Siguro na overwhelmed lang ako dun sa mga sabay-sabay na pagsubok nung time na yun. Pero, right after graduation, parang sabi ko, because of my experience na nabagsak ko yung subject na yun, parang kahit anong bumato na rin sa akin na problema, parang kaya ko na din. Kasi, hindi ako naging loud because of that subject. Just because of that subject. At kahit nabagsak ko nga yung subject na yon, pasok pa sana yung jiwa ko. Pero syempre, kapag ka ganun na nangyari, wala na. So, madaming regrets because of that. Na parang just because of that one subject. And then, sabi ko, if I wanted to teach, kailangan meron din akong armas. Meron pa rin akong continuous knowledge na pinagkukuhanan. That's why I decided to take my master's. And then, tapos na ako sa kompre, nakapasa na ako lahat-lahat. Pandemic came. Tapos, nahirapan na akong bumalik dun sa MA ko din nung time na yun. Kaya parang, in 2023, nag-MA ako ulit, as in, start from scratch. Para sa akin, hindi naman nabaliwala yung binuo ko na MA from 2015 to 2018 and 2019 bago ng pandemic. Para sa akin, parang it's a restart na this time I really wanted to finish my MA. Kasi hindi alam ng nakararami, pero nag-MA muna talaga ako sa UP Diliman. Journalism talaga yung MA ko. Tapos hindi siya natapos dahil ngayon nga may mga personal issues din during the pandemic. Tapos nahirapan na rin bumalik. Noong 2023, lumipat ako sa UST, tapos nag-MA naman ako, hindi na journalism, communication na yung kinuha ko. Kasi at this point, parang mas magagamit ko na rin siya at mas magagamit ko sa profession and pansarili na. Kasi dati parang gusto ko lang na for validation, para lang masabi na may MA ka. Pero ngayon hindi eh, parang ginagawa ko yung MA ko para sa sarili ko na talaga.
In today's time, where discrimination and inequality between genders still exist, what steps have you taken to overcome all of these?
Okay, first of all, as an educator, I'm not in the position to change the system. However, I have the power in my classroom to make my discussion, the classroom, the four walls of this classroom as a safe space for my students to be who they really wanted to be. As an educator then, I practice gender equality, and without prejudice, without biases. Kasi magsisimula lang naman talaga yan sa loob ng classroom eh. So siguro ang perfect example ko na mabibigay dyan is para sa mga trans student, kung ano yung pangalan na gusto nilang itawag sa kanila during recitation, during attendance, at yung gusto nilang isulat sa papel nila, hahayaan ko sila kung ano yung gusto nilang gawing pangalan. Because that can also give power to them as a person. And at the same time, nandun papasok yung we respect and accept them for who they really are. But aside from that, although maliit lang din na bagay yun, second is, yun nga, iwasan din yung power play and gender bias pagdating sa mga discussion, pagbibigay ng examples and values. And I really support student initiatives when it comes to gender equality. Right, like dito sa Basi, we have Malayang Hiyas. So I really support my students who are part of that, regardless of their sexuality and gender identity.
So personally po kayo, may mga discrimination po ba kayo na experience sa workplace nyo, sa expertise nyo, even yung mga field before na pinasukan mo?
Meron at meron siya. Pero yun nga, dahil parang the Philippines, sadly, still in a patriarchal system, hindi siya maaalis eh. Although unti-unti naman, nagkakaroon tayo ng women empowerment, nagkakaroon tayo ng feminism, ideologies, at masaya na rin ako na for every government agencies, we have gender and development offices. But the reality, meron at meron pa rin kasi talaga sexual harassment na nangyayari, meron pa rin nangyayari mga domestic violence. Not directly sa akin, but stories I've heard from my co-workers and colleagues. Meron at meron pa rin nag-perpetuate ng mga ganitong klaseng issues.
Ma'am, how hard is it to change the mind of people who are adamant in keeping their conservative way of thinking?
Okay, number one challenge din siguro na nakaka-relate ako dyan sa parents ko eh. Lalo na sa kung yung parents ko nga medyo ang hirap na din na baguhin yung conservative way of thinking. So, paano pa kaya sa iba din, diba? So, pero, in terms of explaining yung mga ganitong klaseng usapin, I wanted to explain it still in a respectful way. So, siguro para naman sa mga conservative people, in general, ang masasabi ko lang ay, lalo na sa mga students, lalo na sa youth, let's just keep on stating the truth. Kasi kahit naman sabihin na natin hindi sila nakikinig, hindi sila open na makinig sa mga ganitong klaseng usapin. Pero as long as we keep on speaking, unti-unti, mararating natin yung gusto talaga nating ma-achieve, which is equality and justice.
So, if you were given a chance to talk to your younger self, what would you say?
To the younger Lynette, continue on being jolly as you are. Parang don't let the challenges make your sparkle dull, ganyan. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. Yun pala. Siguro kasi growing up parang yan, masayahin tayo, jolly tayo, pero kapag may dumadaang problema, parang there's a tendency na nawawala yung ganong klaseng happiness and syempre, di ba, hindi ka na inosente pagdating sa mga tunay na nangyayari sa mundo. So, nandun na yung nadadagdagan ka na ng sakit, nadadagdagan na din yung walls mo as a person, yung boundaries mo. So, okay lang din naman yun. Pero, don't let anyone to take away that sunshine, of course. So, yun lang. Just keep on doing what you want. Yun. Gusto ko sana sabihin, junk ka na lang kasi mas masaya talaga mag-color-color pag kinder. Ngayon, hindi na. Pero wala eh, part yun ng growing up, part yun ng process.
Dahil sa suporta ng pamilya at mga kaibigan, natutunan niyang magpatuloy at lumaban sa buhay. Ngayon, dala niya ang tapang at pagmamahal na magsisilbing inspirasyon sa iba.
If you were to describe your experiences and successes in life, how would you do it?
I'll describe it as a lifelong learning. Kasi it's also a continuous process para sa akin. Kung ano man yung natututunan ko ngayon, we can always learn, relearn, and unlearn.
Can you share the equation behind your success? What's the things that you've done, practiced, and applied to your routines to be where you are right now?
For me, there's actually no strict formula to success. But if it's based on my experiences, it will always be hard work, multiply it with good values, and add opportunities, tapos minus negativity, and then divide it to other people. That will make you not only a successful person, but also contented on who you are.
What message or inspiring note would you want to leave for the audience?
Usually this message is for all of my students, but for everyone na rin. Siguro let's always stay informed and engaged because your voice matters in shaping the future. And at the same time, being aware about political issues and whatever that is happening right now, it will empower an individual to stand for truth, justice, and positive change.
Ang kanyang kwento ay patunay na sa bawat pagsubok may tagumpay na naghihintay. Sa tapang, sipag at pagmamahal sa sarili, nakamit niya ang pangarap na dati ay tila imposible. Inspirasyon siya sa lahat ng patuloy na lumalaban para sa kanilang pagkatao at pangarap. Sa kabila ng mga pagsubok na tila hindi matapos-tapos, pangarap at pamilya ang naging sandigan upang magpatuloy. Sa mundong tila kasarian ng masihan ng estado at kapangyarihan, laging tandaan na saan ka man nabibilang, sa dulo ng sakripisyo